Hey, welcome to Schubert Technologies. I'm John Schubert, and I thought I would just chronicle going through and creating my own first FPV freestyle drone. So this is following TRONCAT FPV, and you can see a screen cap here of his YouTube channel, and I'll put a link in the description below. He creates a lot of content. It's got a lot of really great videos, a lot of great how-tos. And so specifically the one that I'm going to go through is this how to build a freestyle FPV drone for 200 bucks. And so in this video, it's a very clear, concise, step-by-step how-to. So I'm going to skip going over a lot of the stuff that he goes over, and then focus just kind of like on milestones as I build mine. And then if you look through his list, I went through and ordered everything here. Although I did go with the V4 frame, his video's got the V3. And so there's a few differences that if you're a newbie, like I am, this will be my first drone that I've built that deviate a bit from his video. So this was just to try and help capture some of that as I went along and did the build, and just to share with others in case it might help anyone else. So here we go. So this is the end of the first, I'd say, real day of building. I had started off with this soldering iron, but this soldering iron at 30 watts did not have enough horsepower to get solder into this. And yeah, that's pretty ugly, but after fooling with this for a long time, I think it's good enough for right now. Maybe I'll redo it later on. So I threw away that Weller 30 watt and then bought this Xtronic soldering workstation, whatever you want to call it. So it comes with metal with flux in it. It comes with a sponge, and so it's kind of everything that you need. So we've got the 4 motors in. We've got the capacitor. There's an opening on the stack that the capacitor goes into, which is slightly different from the instructions. So from the outset of this, I've been following TRONCAT FPV YouTube channel, and so I'll put a link to that in the description. So that's slightly different. That actually has little small spots in this. The capacitor is color-coded red and black, as well as you've got the negative on the capacitor. So that part's really hard to get wrong. The 4-inch frame, which, I'm sorry, the V4 frame, he used the V3 in his video. So this part is a little bit different. So I guess going step by step, the arms, if you have any play in it whatsoever, they're not interconnected correctly underneath this panel. So what I ended up doing was leaving these loose to the point where I could stack these one on top of the other, and then I just laid it down flat until I got all 4 to come down and lay evenly. So 2 would be up, 2 would be bottom, and then eventually you're just gonna have to fool with it until it just eventually comes into place. You'll know it's in place when you do this and it does absolutely nothing, doesn't move, and the arms are straight. If it doesn't look like that, if it moves at all, stop, do it again. The other thing that's different from his instructions so far, so I used the longer screws that came with the super stack instead of the ones that come with the frame. And in the instructions that he had online, it looks like he puts the screws here and here, but in this case, with this offset, you're just putting them there so far. And then the video with the other frame says it has holes for straps. Well, this doesn't match that. So what I ended up doing was figuring out, okay, this has to be the camera mount. This was the only way that these would fit in here, so this has to be the front. Because if you look back here, you don't have those 4 notches. You do have holes to mount stuff, but this is what's going to be that. So hopefully I'm not wrong, but I guess we'll find out. So I went with the broader tip on this. The pinpoint one is just too small. You need something that's going to get heat in there, especially for these guys. So as you can tell, I kind of got a little bit better at times since I'm out of practice. I haven't soldered in probably 25 years or so, not real soldering like this. But anyway, so that's what I figured out so far. You've got this piece is the bottom, you've got the arms, you've got that. That's the front. The motors went on. I trowel fit everything like he said, cut it, stripped it, tinned it, soldered it, and that's where I am, end of day one. Oh, one more note. I knew I'd forget this. So the motors came with a whole bunch of different screws. And if you go to the website for that motor, or I'm sorry, for the frame, they'll tell you that the frame arms are 4mm. So you're going to get 3 packs of screws, 3mm arms, 4 and 5. So they give you 5 screws. So you'll have the 4 and 1 extra that's meant to go through a 4mm screw. So these motors are a little bit different than the how-to so far, but just thought I'd point that out, that it's going to tell you which screws to use.